Welcome back with the Fat Guys. George Sean here.
Swedish Joe, strong man from Stockholm.
Will.
Big Fat Will. And we are doing Southern Prohibition Brewery out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. We are going to start with our icebox lemon goes. Then we will move into another icebox. It's another goes, but it's got lemon, coconut, and vanilla. Then we're going to go ahead and move on to this Devil's Harvest Breakfast IPA, which is what I always think we should have for breakfast. We will move on to the Altered Beast IPA, Crowd Control Imperial IPA, and the Paradise Lost Double Dry Hopped IPA. Let's start with this icebox. All right.
Let's see here.
Cheers. So definitely kind of yellowish orange.
Yeah.
Right. Hazy.
Hazy? Yes, everything is.
That smells like it goes. Yeah.
So nice.
Not, I mean, a little citrusy, a little sour. Actually, this is not as bad as other good ones we've had.
This is actually quite decent
I
for
know.
those.
It almost tastes like a little bit.
Has a lot of sweetness in it too.
It tastes a little like a Radler. It's like there's a citrusy amount and a little hidden beer behind it.
Hidden.
Yeah, well hidden. I mean, obviously, we're not a fan of this.
It's definitely one of the best goes.
But in terms of goes, you're right. This is the best goes I've had
because it
ever.
doesn't really taste like a goes.
But it smells like it.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, it hits you right there. So a goes is really a salt beer. I mean, you know, it's meant to be where it's hot, and it's meant to help you kind of basically hydrate.
Okay.
It's an old style that some idiot resurrected and said, hey, you know, let's try this. And then everybody said, hey, this is a great idea. You know, but I remember way back when you could see the salt in the bottles.
No, but you can actually
Taste the saltiness in the end of this.
Yeah. But then they started, because it's already naturally a little bit citrusy itself, they basically said, okay, let's make it into lemon-based beers, which actually doesn't usually do it a good service, but in this case, it's good.
It's good.
So,
It's gross to me.
I gotta admit, you know, a salty beer out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi, I was not 100% sure that this was going to work. But they did all right, so, all right. All right, now we're going to move on to our icebox, but this one has the coconut, the lemon, and the vanilla. So this one has almost no head. I mean, believe it or not, it poured out. It definitely has that yellow, orange.
Yeah, more like orange.
It looks almost like that
a
artificial,
Fanta or something.
yeah, that kids drink stuff, you know, like Capri Sun or something.
Yeah, the smell is just.
Oh, coconut.
Yeah.
Some lemon. I think the vanilla must be there, but the coconut's overwhelming.
Coconut is.
This is like a weird candy bar.
Look at that section of the world of Coke that you don't drink from.
Well, it's coconut and vanilla.
Oh, wow.
Some lemon. I mean, it's absolute coconut.
That tastes the way suntan lotion smells.
Actually.
I think it's a fair statement. This is actually
Bahama Joe or something.
Yeah.
Or Panama Jack. I don't know.
I don't think it matters. Long story short, if you're looking for a coconut, vanilla, astringent kind of taste,
Yeah, I go for this one, but the other one was so much better.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I find myself finding it interesting that we are arguing on which is the better goes, you know?
We don't need to argue about it.
No. This one
I mean, this was probably for fun, even for the brewer. Let's try something different.
And they definitely, if you look at the two cans, they're having fun with it, because this is like a winter style scene here, and you can see in it, you know, they've got them riding the polar bear, and the mask is covered, you know, like with this kind of fur around it. But then, of course, you go to this one, and they're riding the cat, definitely got another theme, you know, somewhere a lot hotter. But definitely not a hit for me. But we'll struggle.
No repeater for me.
Now we'll move on to the Devil's Harvest Breakfast IPA. I'm very excited anytime I can have an IPA for breakfast.
Yeah, high hopes for this one.
Well, it is a very hazy straw. Yeah, white head. Ooh, nice.
The tropical
strong
IPA.
Yeah.
You're right.
It's got citrus,
Citrus.
peach maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
You think peach? Yeah, peach.
Yeah.
This is nice. I do feel
The
like this
aroma
might
is
be,
lovely.
in terms of aroma, I do feel like
Yep.
it is going to get my juice fix for the day.
I think so. It's a good chance for it anyway.
And it tastes juicy too. And not like in a strong juice, like a very nice, smooth.
Yeah.
What you strong, man?
It's a smooth juice.
Very good, actually. Yeah, it's very nice. It's pleasant. I mean, you get that like a very light orange.
More like a mandarin, actually.
Yeah, and maybe a little bit of peach and guava, maybe or something. You know?
Yeah.
Ah, it's good. This is the juice you'd buy like in a box from the local store you're from. It's like a mixed juice. Peach, mango.
You lost me.
He's like, we don't have juice. It's called Senadi.
Breakfast.
This is nice. This is a wonderful breakfast IPA.
It is.
This definitely would go very nice with some other, you know.
Good nice with an
Good omelet, eggs omelet.
Shrimp grits.
Side of Belgian waffle.
Some bacon.
Nice. I'm a big fan. I think this is a great one. It's just flavorful enough with the juiciness, but again, it's muted, so it's not overwhelming. Like again, I love juicy IPAs.
Beer again.
Yeah,
That you can.
you keep drinking them. I mean, I love juicy IPAs. I really do. But most of them are very, very juice forward. This is a nice, pleasant, easy drink, and I can see why it's called the breakfast IPA. It's tolerable easily. I'd say this is about as close to a session juicy IPA as you're going to get. Yeah. Good comment there,
Yeah.
Shoot.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right, and now we're moving on to the Altered Beast IPA. This is the one that looks like yours. All right, again, another hazy yellow, straw yellow. And another nice fruity. This one definitely has more mango peach to it. You smell anything else?
Something. It's something else.
I got mango and peach. Maybe some orange. Apricot. Maybe apricot?
Yeah, something very sweet.
Well, it's very insightful. What's more? Fruity. It's very fruity. This one, so
It has some kind of bitterness to it too.
yeah, I was gonna say.
Bite that
Yeah.
it cuts the fruitiness real quick.
Well, that's the thing. Is this has a stronger fruity flavor than the breakfast IPA had because it's more forward in the fruit. But I think that's also adds that kind of bite. Is you almost have this kind of strong citrus to it, whereas the other one is nice and muted and clean, very easy. Where this one, it's definitely sweeter and more flavor. But you're right. There's like a bite behind it. And maybe a grassiness. Maybe that's what it is. It's a grassiness.
Grass nut.
Because it's not earthy, it's just grassy. So fruity, grassy.
It's fruity kind of in a general way because I can pick Which fruit is it supposed to
When
be?
I smell it, smells like peach and maybe apricot, but definitely peach and some mango.
Yeah, but the aroma is much sweeter than the taste again.
And then the taste is, again, it's a more citrusy taste.
Yeah.
And again, it's that grass. Taste the grass, strongman? Muscles?
Oh, I don't know about grass, but... Yeah, but could you say what kind of fruit it's supposed to be? It tastes like that.
No.
No, me neither.
Like fruit. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, as I said, it's a little more bitter than I'd like. And that grassiness brings it towards a flat taste at the end. But I like the aroma a lot.
Definitely. But the other one suits me better anyway.
Yeah, definitely that breakfast IPA so far is better.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'll move on to this Crowd Control Imperial IPA. Kind of orangish, light orange.
Every one of these are very hot, hazy, and looks quite the same.
Okay, so this one has a malty and a little bit of fruit,
Yeah, but not much.
but not a citrusy fruit at all. I mean, this is a sour fruit. Maybe a little peachy, maybe, but definitely malt. A little bit of yeast aroma. It's a sweet malt with a little bit of some sort of apricot.
Yeah.
It is apricot.
Apricot
malt.
with a pip still in it.
There's a little bit of earthiness to that pit, you know, right? So I mean, yeah, apricot.
It's not as smooth as that.
Yeah. It hangs around a lot. Not as dry as some other beers we've had recently, but definitely hanging out on the drier side of an IPA.
Yeah, it's definitely on that zone.
It's kind of growing on me though, real quick. I mean, it's interesting. Again, the apricot is nice because it's really tastes like just apricot, maybe some earthy hops. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of pleasant.
It is. It does grow on you.
Yeah. Is this a hit for you, Strongman?
It wasn't the same as the other ones, anyway. So.
It's very insightful. Thank you for your commentary.
I kind of like the bitterness in the end of this one.
The bitterness that kind of lingers around.
Like sticks.
Yeah.
Like beer?
No.
I'm kind of liking this one, and I wouldn't drink a lot of them, but
Exactly.
it's
a
nice.
good one to throw in the mix.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Just for this is a little bit different, but it's still very drinkable.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, Southern Prohibition, good one on this one. All right, and now we are going to move on to this Paradise Lost, a double dry hop IPA.
This is
someone is hazy yellow.
quite a nice head on it.
Yeah, nice white frothy head. Okay, so this has a cascadey kind of smell to me.
Yeah.
Very, very citrus, very floral, and very grassy. If I had to guess, Cascade with a primary hops here. And I'm just guessing. Again, we talk about this all the time, that we don't actually do any research on this beer before we actually taste it, smell it, whatever. But again, it just hits me real strong. and it is again citrus, floral, grassy. So there's obviously more than just the Cascade in here, but it's a strong kind of standard palate. I'd say it's interesting. This is what I'd call it an original IPA, because the flavors in here are what I would think that 10, 15 years ago when IPAs were starting to really get into the scene. I mean, obviously IPA is an old beer, so let's not get the comments on that. I mean, if you want to add the comments, that's fine. But we all know that IPAs are old, traditional beers from colonial kind of India, right?
No,
but
so colonial India from Great Britain.
Yes, yeah, correct. And if you don't know already, you should know that IPAs were developed to survive this trip because hops are a natural preservative. But when they really had this resurgence that occurred in the craft brewing scene was somewhere about 10, maybe
12 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. And you started seeing them pop up, and they started getting hoppier and hoppier and hoppier. People like Victory had been doing it for a while, but then you start seeing them in your, rock bottom brew pubs, and you see them in your Gordon Biersch's, what I call your very kind of like chain stereotype brew pub. So that's where the craft brew really was hitting. And this is what I remember. Again, a very traditional Cascade kind of, floral, citrus, and grassy all together.
Mosaic.
Yeah. Well, Mosaic showed up later, right? But again, the Cascade, Williamette would show up in there sometimes, hidden behind them. But there was a primary interest in that citrus floral hop, which is this. So I mean, this is a very clean, very flavorful, and what I would say is traditional IPA.
Yeah, maybe a little bit fruitier than the first ones.
Yeah, I mean, but those early ones were very fruity.
Yeah.
And if you go to a northeastern IPA, those are just fruit forward because that's the style. But this doesn't have a northeast style. It doesn't have a west coast style.
No.
This is IPA
Mississippi.
from Mississippi.
Mississippi.
All right, so Southern Prohibition Brewery, I think this is a good set of beers. I mean, again, I'm not a big fan of these icebox. This was definitely better.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I loved this breakfast IPA, and I liked our final double IPA, the Paradise Lost. These weren't bad either. The only one I didn't really care for was this one.
Yeah, definitely not. But I actually, for what it is, like that one very much. And this is my favorite, I think.
Yeah.
This was good. This was better.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the first icebox, the breakfast, and then
Paradise Lost.
yeah, those are my three.
I think this one is, although these two are the least likable.
Yeah. I mean, all in all, though, I mean, I really appreciate what Southern Prohibition was doing.
Yeah. The
I'm
only
a big
one
fan.
I strongly object to is this
Yeah.
one.
But again, I mean, that's a style we really don't like, and frankly, I think should be retired as fast as possible.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. That's why I don't like it.
There is a bunch of seawater waiting for it to be dumped into. Right?
Together with the plastic bags.
I know, right?
Yeah. I hate whales.
Exactly.
And dolphins.
That's the sea turtles.
Yeah.
No, but I
That's
guess.
gonna be in the like section.
Yeah, someone's gonna love that. Thumbs up if you hate sea turtles. Well, long story short, I think that this is a good brewery.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we're gonna have to find some way to get ourselves over to Hattiesburg at some point because this is a brewery. I'd like to see what else they've got in their tap
Where
room
did you
on Mississippi.
Oh, okay.
But I'd like to see what they got in the tap room because I bet you they've just got some really interesting stuff.
Yeah.
They're not going crazy. They're not dogfish heading where they're out there and trying crazy lunatic stuff.
Yeah.
But they're making interesting versions of styles, and they're being consistent in it. And
You don't lose anything in Mississippi. I'm not going.
all right, well,
And cut.
if you don't care for Will, give us a thumbs up. If you have your own commentary on Mississippi, feel free to share it in the comments. And otherwise, subscribe. Hit that
Bell thing.
bell thing, whatever the hell it is. I don't know what it is. Whatever.
Everybody
hanging out with the fat
on
guys.
is obsessed that hit the bell thing.
I don't know what the hell's all about. All we care is that you're just enjoying your
Yeah.
time with us. So, hang out with fat guys and drink on.
Yeah.